Hello, fellow duelists. YGOLYFE here, coming at you with a little new segment I'm trying to start doing. It's gonna be called YGOLYFE Duelist Talk, and I'm just gonna start this first episode off, starting off as talking about hand traps and how hand traps have come into the game since, gores and trag, into other things that stopping damage and span of monster effects in the hand and how it works in the game and why I play them in certain decks. And so I'm gonna start off with thing about me not playing Ash in a lot of my deck profiles because it's player preference if you want to play it. Me, since the ban of Maxi, I do not really main deck a lot of hand traps. I feel like Veiler good in the light deck or chaos deck where it interacts as well. But then there's also cards like certain trap that negates effects. Breakthrough skill, Phoenix Chain. But with Veiler, it cuts off the monster effect for a turn in the main phase, leading into the battle phase and other phases into the end phase. Whereas Ash, you Ash one effect and it's just, that's a card out your hand. So that's a card opponent got out your hand. Say you have an Ash, that doesn't mean you have a Nibiru at that time. So the chances of you thinking you have a Nibiru would change, or just playing other hand traps. Also, I have these hand traps as my favorite of all times. I really don't play the Ghost Reaper or Winter's Cherries in a lot of decks, but I do have a Shaddoll deck, so I have it in there just in case a mirror match. I feel like this card is very good in mirror match. Gorse is a OG icon of hand traps because of people not swinging with the strongest monster first, which people are doing now to get more damage in. But if you have a Gorse, you start playing Gorse, your opponent will change that. So you having a big monster on board, and they swing with a little monster, and you still be able to drop Gorse to keep field presence. So Gorse help with field presence. But also like World Chariot Guard Dragon, it's a good hand trap that could be played in a lot of link decks and side deck wise. Even if you just side in one, a lot of dragon decks now it seems like they're gonna have to play normals. So to get like extra deck monster out with being level 4 or lower monsters with good synergies, but it's the transgression into Master Rule 5 and hand traps. It seems like people sleep on a lot of good quick play spells over hand traps, Forbidden Challenge, and that's something else. Probably episode 2 I work on talking about good quick play spells. But just saying that with hand traps, it's Ghost Ogre, it destroys the monster, but it doesn't negate the effect. Ash stopping you from searching when Rhoda's at 1. Yeah, you Ash a Rhoda, but that's a high chance with Call by the Grave being released, which interacts with our hand trap that we needed. Like Droll, automatic good. It's like Mistake, but would you rather have a Mistake or a deck lockdown over an Ash or even a Thunder King or a Doom Cow? Like people not playing Doom Cow, but me to say that if I play Phantom Knights, I would want Doom Cow in my deck. Good normal summon, set traps. I can interact during my opponent's turn with my traps, playing as a player that playing with back row and with other monster effect. But you're saying that your deck lack the monsters, and then you put in hand traps instead of more floater cards to extend plays where your opponent can have 3 torrential tribute. They torrential tribute. You have a hand trap you can't summon. Also playing hand trap that are mainly tuners but doesn't have any synchros in the extra deck is something that Master Rule 5 is hoping people get a real enlightenment on. That you're playing the tuner deck, late game you draw into an Ash, but you have no way to synchro summon to use the Ash as a tuner monster as its full potential as a monster card, just using it as a hand trap. It's just like, come on now. It's nostalgia to me. It's really like, it's irony. where people dead draw and they lose to me because Ash doesn't stop a card effect that haven't been hit by Konami or restricted by Konami. Whereas not once per turn, it's a floater, so I move it off field, bring it back, I still get its effect. So that's what I would like to say about hand traps. And I understand people like to play hand traps in this day and era in Yu-Gi-Oh, but for me, I feel like it's preference. Most hand traps I do like to interact. They're mainly fit with me and my side deck and the way that I build my decks. And you like, everybody entitled to their own opinions on decks and stuff, but same as honest in a light deck. You don't see everybody building a Trickstar deck and just throwing honest in there just because it's a hand trap and it's a light fairy still in Yu-Gi-Oh 2020. It's Cyber Dragons. They don't depend on honest to win, but it's literally a guaranteed win with limit removal at 3. Is your opponent can't enter battle phase when you have a monster, so they have to clear your board to even interact with their monsters attacking in battle phase. But I'm just also, it's like traps that activate in hand, like Impermanence, Red Reboot. Those are all good hand traps in their own way. But how hand traps interact with your opponent, and depending on if your opponent can play through you doing certain hand traps, this has always been since taking the Max C challenge. You take the Max C challenge, you keep on going to see what you get or what your opponent get, and it's like Max C still banned, but Nibiru is a good card where now if someone takes the Max C challenge, they can actually be punished, but Max C is still banned as a hand trap. So how hand traps are rated in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh with me, I feel like some are good, some are situational. Like Ash, I said situational. Yeah, you have an Ash opening hand, your opponent go first, all means hit it when it's critical, but they summon a monster in search, and then they activate a spell card, allows them to draw like a lure. What did you really do to them? So, thank you guys for tuning in. I have some more contents and deck profiles to upload for you guys. YGOLYFE signing out.